Real quick guys, if you find this video helpful or enjoyable or informative in any way, as this is a growing channel, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content, okay? Let's get into it. Now, where do we even begin with this? Okay, so Injustice 1 was a game that was released in 2013. It was released across every console available at that time, okay? And there was even a mobile version for those who couldn't afford the consoles or those who would rather play on their mobile phones. Now, all this is fine and dandy. They gave us interesting characters from the DC universe. It was a game that was designed and built by NetherRealm Studios, the studio that brought us Mortal Kombat, okay? Now, they got the license and the support from Warner Brothers, and they released the game in 2013, and it was a hit, right? We got to see, our favorite DC heroes on the big screen in the video game world, and we got to take control of them as well, with wonderful visual spectacles at that time. There's a lot of reasons why it was a huge hit. Superman, Wonder Woman, all those characters. The graphics at that time was pretty decent. All that was great. Now, fast forward 4 years later, and we got Injustice 2. Injustice 2 was released because there was a poll on Twitter asking if the game Injustice 1 needed to be improved, and the answer was no. So the studio went to work and brought us Injustice 2. Take a look at this short clip to see the improvements, both visually and gameplay wise, as they transition from Injustice 1 to Injustice 2. Take a look, just watch this.
At risk for Atlantis. Maybe you can be trusted.
So, you're in?
I can't. I belong here, defending my people. Red Lanterns?
Atrocitus and Dexstar. Agents of Vengeance. Powered by rage. Don't worry, I'll handle these two, ring to ring.
Good luck.
Alright, I think you guys get the point. So, there wasn't much for me to talk about as far as Injustice 1 go, okay? The game was released, we got to experience it, the storyline was okay. I mean, it didn't make that much of a sense, it really didn't. But if you can switch off your brain for 5 seconds and watch it, you will enjoy it all round, okay? Now, getting to Injustice 2, it was basically a continuation of the game. And, well, what we got was an improvement in a lot of ways to the original game, okay? New characters and cooler characters were introduced. The graphics was looking insane at that time. 2017 was the year when it was released, okay? Don't know the particular date, but it was released in 2017 across all gaming platforms. And then we got Injustice 2 Mobile, which is the game that, most of my audience watch. Thank you for subscribing, by the way. Now, the storyline also didn't make much of a sense, but this game was released at a time where game developers focused on the source material, which is the comics. The movies were based on the comics, the stories, the original stories. There was no gender swapping. There was no race swapping. Characters were not given abilities and traits that are not common to them. Unlike the world we live in today. The world we live in today, you will hear me say that phrase a couple of times in this video from now. So, fast forward today, we are in this situation where no one understands what is actually going on anymore. So, if you're asking for Injustice 3 Mobile, it's time for you to understand what exactly you're asking for. And the first example that I'm going to give is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, this trash-ass game was released 2 years ago. And you guys know, most of you guys know what I'm talking about. The game got trashed and bashed and destroyed on the internet. Okay? It was a mess. It was a mess. They clowned all our heroes in the game. It was so bad that Warner Brothers, they pulled down on they was ashamed of making that game. Now, what is that trying to say? It is a good example of the world we live in today, where our heroes are more of, they are discredited, and then the villains are now the center of attention for some weird reason. Characters like Harley Quinn they are the ones that are being treated more with respect and admiration, and they are being pushed more than the heroes that we love and care about. Tell me, pre-2020, 2021, how many of you cared about Harley Quinn? She made her first appearance in the Suicide Squad movie in 2016, and it was like, yeah, I mean, hey, it is good to have something different. I mean, she was played by a character. I mean, I'm not bashing Harley Quinn or anything. I'm just giving an example. She was played by a character who's really pretty hot, to be honest. Margot Robbie portrayed Harley Quinn really well in the Suicide Squad movie. Now, they had this bold idea of making a movie about her, which was Birds of Prey, and you guys all saw how that turned out. It was utter garbage, utter trash. Okay, I don't know whose idea it was to make a video game adaptation of that. Her leading a ragtag, useless group of characters that we know from the Suicide Squad movie that no one really cares about. You know, they would call them side characters, like tier C characters. And all of a sudden are able to defeat the Justice League. Okay, this is what the game was trying to say. The Justice League fought Brainiac and failed, and then they were being controlled by Brainiac, and someone has to take them down. And guess what? Harley Quinn, King Shark or Queen Shark, whatever that was, and then Deadshot with Captain Boomerang. Captain fucking Boomerang. Are you kidding me? This is where the game is going, if you guys don't know, because that's where that's the world that we live in today. Okay? Now, let me give a second example. Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1 was released in 2023. Let's get right into that.
Night Market.
It is not too late to turn back. The Lin Kuei's path is set, Cyrax.
Round 1, fight.
If you've made it this far into the video and you enjoyed it so far, keep watching until the end, and also subscribe to the channel if you are pushed to do so. But like the video to help me walk around the YouTube algorithm and spread my channel. It's a growing channel, so I would really appreciate any support I can get. Now, what does Mortal Kombat 1 have to do with Injustice 3? Well, it's the same studio that will bring us Injustice 3. Okay? It's still NetherRealm Studios. They're the one that will develop and walk the game. But they need license and characters from Warner Brothers, which owns DC. So, Mortal Kombat 1 for a long time, ever since the last Mortal Kombat was released, I think it was Mortal Kombat 11 was released in 2019. So, eventually they released Mortal Kombat 1, and there are only two positives to take away from the game. The first one was Noob Saibot. Noob Saibot was a huge hit. Everyone wanted to see how the character was gonna look and be introduced in the game. And to be frank, I'm not a big fan of his design in the game, but the character was cool. He is basically Bi-Han, Sub-Zero's elder brother, Kuai Liang, the younger one, but Sub-Zero's elder brother is Bi-Han. So Noob Saibot is basically Bi-Han dead and resurrected with new powers and a new look. Okay, and the second positive to take away from the game is just the graphics. The graphics is insanely good, as you can see. That's the only thing I can say about the game in that there's positive. The graphics and the gameplay is good, and then there is Noob Saibot. But story-wise, it's just utter garbage, bro. The story is very bad. I know that some people might disagree with me, but if you go through the story mode, if you haven't seen it, you can look it up on YouTube. I did play it though. The story is so bad, it's utter trash. Characters were gender swapped and then race swapped, and then there are bisexual characters and all that. Why? Because the game has to reflect on the world that we live in today. And that's what else do we need from a game apart from reflecting the confusion and the utter madness that's going on in the world today? Instead of taking us away from it, it's actually throwing it in our faces. Tell me, how many of you remembers the characters Cyrax and Sector? Those are gonna be the two main focus on this segment, this part of the video. Okay? How many of you remember them to be women? And then from different races also and origin. I know the Mortal Kombat the story mode wants to hit you with the it's from a different timeline garbage. Okay, it's from a different timeline. Now, how many female characters transitioned or were changed to males? Tell me, just name one. Name one. There's Sonya in the game, there was Sindel, there was Milena. How many of them were transformed with no explanation into males? Why is it that when video games and movies, when they want to do the whole gender swap thing, that door only swings one way? Answer me. I wish this video would find NetherRealm, because this is the kind of garbage they need to keep out of making video games. I mean, not only NetherRealm, every video game company. They already ruined the movies with that shit. Now they want to work on the video games and ruin that as well. Tell me. Did you all of a sudden find out that Princess Kitana was now Prince Kitana, a man with, large shoulders and a Giga Chad, man? Nope. That door only swings one way. Only the male characters that will, for no reason at all, or for some dumbass reason, be changed to female characters to try to please the female audience that really don't give a shit about the game. How many of your girlfriends are actually excited about playing any video game at all? I mean, it is what it is. Now let's round this off by talking about the Injustice 3 characters, which, if this is correct, is utter garbage. Now, don't get me wrong. It is without a doubt that the graphics for Injustice 3 will be updated to the technology we have today, which means it will be great. But don't get hyped up for the characters, man. 'Cause if this Reddit post from this guy is correct, then you know what to expect. What you're going to expect is characters that nobody really cares about, and the storyline that's centered around characters that nobody cares about. How does this affect Injustice 3? Well, it does a lot. If you take away the major characters from the game, what are we left? We're left with a bland storyline. A bland story, beautiful graphics, and great gameplay, but characters that nobody wants to see on the big screen. Now, that post was made over a year ago, when the game was first announced that it's going into development. So I think some of the content leaked into the mainstream media, which means we're talking about it today, right now. And NetherRealm, there is still time for you to correct the mistakes that you are about to start making. Don't be like Disney and Marvel and focus on female-centric characters that is supposed to appeal to the female audience that really doesn't give two shit about the game. The majority of the players that you have are males. When you make video games, you make games for male audiences. The female will tag along when they feel like it. It's like the world today, the world that we live in today seems to have forgotten that male and female tend to be interested in different things, and that's fine. But it's like we pretend it is something that doesn't exist anymore. Like everyone just is interested in everything, regardless of what race or gender they are. No, that's not true. I don't watch rom-coms. I mean, I can watch them if my girlfriend decides, that's what she wants to watch. Maybe I'll be like, yeah, you know what? Let's just watch it and that'll be it. But it's not like I'm gonna be going out of my way to watch romance movies and all of that. No, I'm not gonna do that. So, to cap all of this off, I am just gonna say that Injustice 3 will be a bad idea if they decide to go on the route which most games and movies are going, which is making content that reflects on the world that we live in today. This crazy world that we live in now, instead of sticking to the source material. And I'm pretty sure they will not stick to the source material. I'm pretty sure they will give us something to be pissed off about. Well, if that's the case, then get ready to be disappointed. Now, Injustice 3 Mobile is just gonna be... I think Injustice 3 Mobile will be okay, because it's not like the console version of Injustice. It's slightly different, because it's just hand-to-hand combat. But it will not be okay if they give you guys trash characters to take control of. Garbage characters that no one cares about, and take away the big DC hitters. Tell me, how many of you are excited to see some of the characters in that list? Well, with that being said, this will be the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If there were points that I nailed, let me know down in the comments. If you think that I was totally off and my rant was not needed, if you think I'm not hitting any points with this channel, with this video, let me know as well. All right, it's been a pleasure.